nice to see you. So some lovely hamburger sonata. Okay, great. When you're ready, I'll mute myself. Lovely, beautiful, Elise. Gorgeous. You have a really beautiful sound. It's very evenly spread across the whole instrument. Sounds really lovely. Um, have you been playing that piece long?
Not really.
Have you played that with an accompaniment before?
No, not yet, but I've listened to it quite a lot. So.
It sounds like you have because you've got a good pulse. It's really good pulse. Um, and your rhythm is really good. I like your triplets. They just feel really solid. Sounds great. What I'd like you to think about is your phrasing a little bit, where you see the phrase going, how you begin phrases,
Yeah.
um, um, and try and follow the direction of the phrase and show us where you want to go. So just like you're talking to me or I'm talking to you, there's a point to my sentence, so I will go towards that point. and then probably trail off a bit. Okay, like I just did. And that's exactly the same in this piece. It's really simple. You don't need to do anything clever,
Yeah.
but we need to hear it. We need to hear what you have to say, and we want to. Okay, and you make such a gorgeous sound. So yeah, I think you should just start it again, actually, and I'll probably stop and start. Okay. Okay, perfect place to stop, Elise. So we've just played at the first sort of phrase. Can you tell me where you're heading? Do you have a plan in that phrase? I won't sing. I would if it was just you and me. Um,
I'm not really sure. I kind of just go to like, I kind of group it. So like with the semiquavers, I kind of put that in one group to the next crotchet.
so
Kind of do like
do you go from beat to beat? Do you feel every beat, or do you feel that there's a longer? Is there a point in the next bar where you might be heading?
well, on the first bar, like I'm heading to the first beat of the second.
Okay,
So,
that's good. Yeah. Okay, there's a taxi in there, as I mentioned earlier. Taxi, da da da, taxi. Okay, think about those types of phrases within the phrase, phrasing little moments of when the way we speak.
yeah.
You know, Elise. So I put this emphasis on the second half of your. Is that right? Is that how you say your name? Yeah, yeah, Elise or Elise. You wouldn't say that, would you? So that's how we speak. We go up and down, and I'd love to hear even more of that in that first phrase. I sort of feel the first note of the bar, first beat of the bar, is quite a strong one, isn't it? So it's a good point to come away from. I'll just try and play. So I'm sort of I've split up my beats quite a lot in that. So the way I'm playing is I'm doing a lot more sort of hairpins away, not really big ones, but just little ones. So the music is made up of those sorts of shapes within the longer phrase, just to make it sound like a sentence, I suppose.
Okay.
Can you just have a think about that when you play that first phrase once more? Yeah, yeah. Already I heard some phrasing away. I think you could do even more. I think actually, as an experiment, you should do it once, completely over the top, and see how over the top it actually sounds. Would you mind doing that? Good. Okay, that to me, if you felt you were being really over the top, it didn't sound completely over the top. Okay. And so I suppose when that happens, you lose more air, don't you? You're a bit pushed for breath that time. So it's really preparing that first note. It's not as easy as we thought it was. Good breath. Maybe take a couple of beats over that first breath. And then you've got just a little bit more air to play with. Where have you gone? You've just, oh, there you are. Sorry, I've got too many things on my screen. Okay, let's just do that once more. What's the dynamic at the beginning?
Forte.
Sorry.
Forte.
Forte. Okay. Oh, so it's really quite strong, isn't it? just try and go for a little stronger in dynamic this time and see how that feels. Again, it might change it completely, but don't stop doing these little phrasing within the bigger phrase. Whilst you're doing that, don't ever stop the air from flowing out. It needs to stay really, really fast all the time. Even when you make a diminuendo, you do it that way, yeah, and out of the phrase. Don't slow down the air. Just keep supporting that air. Okay. Once more, we'll carry on this time. Okay, great, Elise, well done. I'm just going to try, I haven't got the music with me, so I'm remembering it. I'm trying, I can't remember what the articulation is within that bar. Do you have any articulation? Tia, 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 or is it all under one slur?
It's the first semiquaver is tongued and then the rest is like slurred.
Okay. Yeah, okay. What I'd love you to do is imagine that your semiquavers are on a piece of string and that they're all tied together, if you like, on one piece of string, so that they are joined. At the moment, they sound a little bit like they're sort of hanging off the string. Okay, I want them to be firmly on. Yeah, even those 4 notes there. Yeah. Dim da 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 dum da dee dee. Come away from there, maybe. So that we have another nice shape. Let's just do that. That one. Okay, good. What you gave me just then at the very end was you gave me a big thump on the last note of your phrase.
Okay.
I'm going to think of a sentence. I'm giving a masterclass today. I wouldn't say that, would I? I'm giving a masterclass today. Okay, so there we are with your last note. Just be careful. It's not always the case. There will be times when you do want to go to the very last note. Look at sometimes in this period of music, it's good to look at the bar itself. So we have 4 beats in a bar. 1, 2. Oh no, sorry, 3 beats in a bar. Let's go in the next phrase. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we go towards the first beat of the bar and we come away. Every beat gets slightly smaller. Yeah. Okay. You just try that second phrase once more, the where we went from. Yeah, beautiful end of that phrase, really gorgeous. And what you do there is that you have life. You make the diminuendo, but the note is still alive. You added some vibrato. It didn't die with it. And that's really crucial when we make a diminuendo, that we don't lose the life in the sound and we don't lose the importance of the note. It's still an important note, it's just a different sort of importance. Okay. Should we just carry on? Yeah, I love, Elise, I love that little moment. It was a beautiful moment. You know the moment I'm talking about.
Not really.
Oh, yeah, your little trill. Dee-dum. Maybe you didn't even realise you were doing it. It was just a natural moment. Um, do you remember? You remember it now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You see, those little moments make a performance really, really special. And you did that without even realising, which is lovely. But I want you to think more about those colours and those sort of just conversation. It's how you make conversation with the music, I think. How you sell it to us.
Okay.
Really important. Let's just do. It's difficult with. It's different with the faster notes. Yeah, we still need to phrase. It's not just a matter of playing lots of notes and they'll do the job for you. So again, think about these 3 beats in a bar. 1, 2, 3. Yabba dabba 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 dum. Bum bum bum. Yabba dabba 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 dum. So that we have 1, 2, 3. I would love you just from that moment to don't write it in your music, but have a virtual diminuendo at the end of every bar as an experiment. I'm not saying this is what I'd like you to do forever, but just as to understand this sort of feeling of the first beat of the bar is maybe slightly more important than the other beats sometimes. Okay, let's just go from there and be over the top again so that we really can hear it. It's gorgeous. I really like that. To me, it flows. It just has a naturalness to it. Okay, and you're not really having to think very much about that, are you? It's just a matter of, oh yes, first beat of the bar is more important. But of course, you can change that. It doesn't have to be the case, but as a general rule, I think that might be something to think about while you're practicing this. And then, if of course, if there are 2 beats in a bar, then it's slightly different, and if there are 4 beats, it's different again. But think about your phrasing and how you sell the line, okay? Because you make such a gorgeous sound, and there's you've got everything there. And the other thing is just when you're practicing at home, it's sort of difficult to know what to do, isn't it, or how to practice, and you have 1 lesson a week maybe. I think I'm imagining. But it's also a lot to take in, isn't it? And it's very intense, this Zoom, and we're looking at each other all the time. So maybe actually listening to some music. It doesn't have to be flute music. I mean, it could be any music. It could be pop music. But try and listen to some classical music as well. Something similar by the same composer on a violin or an instrument that you like. Just to sort of get some ideas and just sort of feel. I mean, sometimes this sort of music, it's good to hear a specialist group playing something earlier so that you have that idea of what they do. Sometimes it's just interesting to hear what they would do and you think, oh God, I don't like that. But you don't have to like it and you don't have to do it, but it will go in and then you can churn it out in a different way. Yeah. Great, lovely. Maddie, I think we should stop there. It was really, really great. Fantastic. Lovely playing. Gorgeous. Sorry, it's awful to stop, isn't it? You're, getting really into it now, and it's just so lovely to hear some music, isn't it? And I imagine you're desperate to play this with a piano.
Yeah.
It's a real sort of ensemble piece, actually, and your half of you's missing without the piano, really, in a way. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. Have you done this with piano before?
I've run through it with the piano.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the thing for me is it's holding your nerve with the rhythm. There's so many sort of different sections, aren't there? Already we've had sort of 4 different and again, I think the pulse is really important for you, just to sort of own that pulse and really feel comfortable, not feel that you need to sort of get away from it. So for example, in your that lovely modere section, which is just so gorgeous, those lovely semiquavers were a little bit sort of slightly manic in rhythm. So just be careful, otherwise we lose that lovely sort of lilt of the 12/8, 9/8, 12/8. So that was just one thing. I felt they were pushing a little bit. And just there's lots of ties, aren't there? So, for example, on if I'm playing it absolutely rigidly with a metronome, that's where it should be. So make sure that when you practice alone and there's no one on the piano sort of making you, play in the right place, make sure that you have a general overall sort of accuracy before you start to do your own thing, which is great. And it's that sort of piece. It's a fantasy after all. So we want that fantasy aspect of the rhythm. But just make sure that it's totally sort of in the right place first of all. You're playing in the kitchen, are you?
I am in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good place to play, isn't it? Nice and loud, I think. Yeah, I think, and I wanted just to talk to everybody about practicing and where you should practice. I mean, I gladly practice in my bathroom if I could all the time, just because it sounds gorgeous. But just be careful it's not always easy to practice in any room or every room of the house, but try and vary where you play, especially at the moment. So practice in your bedroom, practice in the kitchen, but try and just change scene, because it highlights all sorts of aspects of your playing. So in there where you are now, it sounded very, very big, which was great. It's perfect for this. But maybe you could I mean, you might actually need to give a bit more in your bedroom, say, if you were playing in there. So just make sure that it's not doing the work for you necessarily. Let's just play once more from the top. Yeah. Yeah, great, lovely. Just be careful that last B flat isn't too long. I noticed it really long the first time. So again, just keep hold of that, just where you are in the bar. I'd like you just to, I'm sounding really pernickety about this rhythm, but I just want you to play it once with the right rhythm, okay? It's there, but you're pulling it around. So without pulling it around too much. So we have one. Okay, just ground it once for me. Gorgeous. Do you know what? I feel already there's so much more space around the music. This is the introduction. So we're not sort of flying around yet. So enjoy those faster notes a little bit more, so they have a little bit more melodicness around them. You know, it's lovely to sort of sink into these notes. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing it slower than you, so maybe I'm just feeling it in a different tempo. Let's go on, but with that in mind, we're still at a slightly so enjoy these, make them more melodic, and don't worry about them being too fast. Yes, well done. Really lovely. If we've got time, let's just move on. Let's just do the next section. I think it's more enjoyable at that for you if you know that you have that time. Personally, it sounds like you're enjoying yourself more. You're more comfortable. Okay, on we go. Lovely, really gorgeous, Maddie. Rhythmically, that's already, it's more settled, I think, for me anyway. I wondered whether you could now think more about the colour that you're using here. I think you're really trying to change the colour. To me, it sounds, again, it sounds a little bit sort of at the front of the stage, where you could be a little bit further back and letting them really, the audience really pipe down so that they can hear you, so that you're squeezing something really, really magical out for them that they have to really, really listen to. And just be careful. A rhythm like this, da dee da dee, has so many beats in it, doesn't it? Da da dee da dee da da. All the lovely long notes have that sort of sense of, it's very easy to sort of bring the pulse out with them. So what we want to find is a bit of a lot smoother line. So when you hit these longer notes, I studied for a little bit with William Bennett, and if anyone knows him or has ever played to him, you'll know that he has two words, one of which is taxi and one of which is elephant. And this one is very much all about the elephant. And I'm thinking, elephant, yada-dum-dum, elephant, that rhythm. And it's always helped me in life to phrase. The taxi is two notes, taxi. We would never say taxi, and we wouldn't say elephant. So have that idea in your head while you're playing this rhythm. And I think that might help just come away from this slight bump in the line. Should we just try from there? Lots of elephants. Maddie, that's so much more beautiful. It's got a lovely sense of line now. I think the colour works now. I hear the colour more. I think your use of vibrato, you use quite a fast vibrato. It might be worth experimenting with the vibrato you use. Yeah. The fast vibrato is lovely, but maybe once you could take it away altogether. So just start with nothing and see how that feels for something else. See if that changes the colour even more. And the rhythm is really coming. I still feel that you just rush 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, yada dum da da. They can be quite melodic, these notes. Yeah. Should we move on to the vif, the section that we just finished with? I love this bit. It's very fun, isn't it? Okay, off you go. Great, lovely. Just be careful at those long notes. You've lost your pianist. You've forgotten about the piano. So keep those long notes moving, that inner pulse. Okay. That's great. I always feel like I'm in Mission Impossible or something when I play this. Like I've got a pistol or something. And I think you could sort of enjoy it in that way a little bit more, be a little bit more sort of cheeky about it.
Yeah.
The rhythm is really good though. I love that. I wonder whether we could just try it a little bit quicker.
Okay.
You want to have a go? It's fiddly, isn't it? But feel it in one, and keep it moving. Okay, those long notes are no longer than they need to be. Okay, once more. On we go. Okay, great, lovely. Let's stop there. Good. It's tricky. I think this is the hard thing. Is just to keep that. I would stick a metronome on when you're practicing this. I wouldn't normally ask people to use a metronome, but I think with this, I think you just want to sort of know where you are. And it's just the sort of finding the clarity, isn't it, in the rhythm. But being melodic when you can be. Sorry. Just sort of really knuckling into the detail of the articulation. When you have your long note, again, allow your piano solo in. There's a piano moment. So don't immediately think this is all about me. It's not there. Okay, so really, I would maybe listen to it in the meantime whilst you can't play with the piano. Sort of want to just to give chance for you to play the end. Would you like to?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As your play out, let's have should we go into the un peu moins vite? Can you see where that is?
Yeah.
Last page, okay. well done. Fantastic. Lovely, Maddie. Great, well done. Keep it going. It sounds great.